We have less than 72 hours from now to when the Wii U and 3DS eShop closes. So let's talk about some of my favorite Wii U eShop games, the games that you should consider buying if you haven't heard of them or just haven't tried them before the service closes. Let's get into it. Hello there everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Botox Games. Today I wanted to talk about my favorite Wii U eShop games. Now, I know most people are more interested in the 3DS stuff right now. Thank you so much for the support on my favorite 3DS eShop games video I did a couple days ago. Go check out that if you haven't seen it. But I wanted to shine a light on some Wii U eShop games. A lot of these indie games are really good. And the beauty of it is, even if you don't want to play them on Wii U, unlike 3DS, where most of those were kind of exclusive, most of these games are on other platforms. They're on, PS4, Xbox, Steam, even Switch especially. So most of these games can be accessed elsewhere. There are a couple Wii U exclusives here, but for the most part, they're on everything. But I played most of these first on Wii U, and I definitely recommend them. So let's get into the list. Now for this list, I tend to avoid doing games that have physical releases, which is why I didn't put DuckTales on here, DuckTales Remastered, although I think that game might have gotten delisted at some point. Either way, that game has a physical release, so we're not counting it. However, I am going to count Shovel Knight Treasure Trove, because the Wii U physical copy of Shovel Knight doesn't have Spectre of Torment and King of Cards and all that on its disc. So Shovel Knight Treasure Trove is on sale right now. It is, I think it's like $5. It's literally like the ultimate collection of Shovel Knight. If you don't know what Shovel Knight is, it's like Mega Man meets DuckTales. Fantastic games with a bunch of free DLC campaigns. Obviously at this point it's just kind of baked in, and they're all just separate games. You have Plague of Shadows, which wasn't as great, but Spectre of Torment was, in my opinion, Spectre of Torment is better than the base Shovel Knight game. It is that good. And then the King of Cards you have there as well. So Shovel Knight Treasure Trove, an absolute must buy. It's on literally every platform known to man though, so whether or not you want that on Wii U, that's up to you. Mighty Switch Force is a game I did not mention on 3DS because I didn't play it on 3DS, but I highly recommend that as well from Way Forward. Just going around as a little hydro firefighter, putting out fires, rescuing girls. It's a fun time. Lovely Planet, and this is where I realized, in my 3DS video, I said that there's not that many eShop games on the Wii U. I didn't even know if it would be worth making a video. There is a lot. I just forgot how many I actually played and enjoyed on the Wii U. So Lovely Planet is awesome. I don't know if this ever came to Switch. I think there is a Lovely Planet 2 though. So this is like a first-person, fast-paced kind of speedrun style game where you're going for the best time possible. It's very, you gotta be very, precise with your movements, moving left and right. It kind of has like a Katamari kind of vibe and art style and music and tone. This game's fantastic. So if you like a really goofy, fast-paced shooter, Lovely Planet is honestly probably one of my favorite games on this list. I really enjoy Lovely Planet. I remember they did, I think it was E3 2015. They did like a series of E3 demos for a bunch of indie games. And there was another game that we'll get to that was on that list. Electronic Superjoy. This is like, it's just one of those like tough as nails 2D platformers, pixel platformers, where I don't know, I feel like maybe I'm just not seeing them anymore. Maybe less people are talking about them now versus back in like 2014. I feel like we aren't getting games like this as much anymore. Indies have like evolved into whatever Hades is, and I love Hades, but like that's so much like grander scale. Electronic Superjoy is kind of like a simple tough as nails 2D platform, so that's really good. I think there's also like a spin-off like Groove City or something like that. So that game's fantastic. Then we have one of our exclusives. I don't think this ever came to Steam, and this is without a doubt one of the best Wii U games you have not played. It uses the gamepad in such a way that I don't think even Nintendo expected any developer to do. So this is Affordable Space Adventures, and what made me realize I'm glad this game's getting the recognition it deserves. It's not even on sale right now, and it's in like the top 5 best-selling Wii U eShop games. Now, granted, how many people are really buying Wii U eShop games? Not that many. But Capcom is doing a sale right now for all their games are $3. So Resident Evil 4 is $3 on the Wii U eShop right now. This game is still competing with that. So this was made by Napnock Games. I don't think they ever went on to do any other games. Fun fact, I actually reviewed this. I got a review. I think it was my first ever review code or something like that for my YouTube channel back in like, I want to say 2015. So maybe there's a little bit of bias there. I don't really think so though. This is a fantastic game. It's been a long time since I played it, but what I remember is you control a little ship and you're monitoring all of its different kind of statuses on the gamepad. So like heat levels, height, all that. You're moving the gamepad left and right. It's one of those things where it looks like it would be gimmicky, but when you're playing it, it's really satisfying. I want to say it was kind of like, not like Metroidvania, but just puzzle-based 2D puzzle game, but it made fantastic use of the gamepad. So in terms of Wii U eShop exclusives, that's probably the best one right there. That is, I still can't believe that never came to Steam or something. You know, the Wii U gamepad was so intrinsic to it, I guess, that the developers probably figured there's not much point in porting this at this point. But yeah, Affordable Space Adventures is absolutely fantastic. One of the best Wii U eShop games. Definitely a highlight for sure. Then we have a Nintendo published game that I haven't actually played too much of, but I played the series on 3DS, and you can kind of infer it's probably going to be about the same. Pushmo World. This is Pushmo from the 3DS. You pull these blocks out, you jump up. Little puzzle game. I played a little bit of it on Wii U, but I mostly stayed on 3DS for me. But I imagine it's pretty much the same thing. Fast Racing Neo. This is another one I never got too deep into. I played more Fast RMX, I believe, on Switch when that came out at launch, which is, for all intents and purposes, just a better version of this. It had more content. I think it ran better. But Fast Racing Neo, it's always nice to see kind of where these games come from. I remember this being a huge deal. If you like Wipeout or F-Zero for Nintendo fans, more comparable. Just a super fast-paced, futuristic racer from Shinin, the creators of Out of Balance, which is also in Wii U, which I talked about in my 3DS video. Then we have Runner 2 from, at the time, Gaijin Games. I forget what their name is now. Runner 2 and Bit Trip Runner, that whole series. I love that series. I never played Runner 3, but the original Bit Trip Runner is fantastic in that whole little collection of games. But Runner 2, I think this was a Wii U launch title alongside our next game, Trine 2, which we'll talk about. Runner 2 is fantastic. It's like a rhythm platformer in the endless runner. You know, you're not holding right, but you gotta avoid obstacles, smash enemies, all that fun stuff. Really good game, really good music. And then Trine 2, like I mentioned, you know, this is my first experience with Trine. I think probably a lot of people's first experience with Trine actually was on the Wii U, weirdly. Trine's pretty popular. I feel like most people watching this probably know what this is. But basically, it's a 3, I believe, player co-op magic-based game where you're just going through these really beautiful fantasy landscapes, solving puzzles together. There's some enemies, but it's mostly just solving puzzles. You know, the little mage can conjure up a box, and you got to put the box on the button and to open the door. It's very simple stuff. You have a knight who can attack enemies, and then there's an archer, I believe. It's been a long time since I played these games. Trine 2 is the best one. Trine 1's good. They released that on Wii U as well. And Trine 2 is by far the best one. Then Trine 3 is like a weird 3D spinoff. I don't know if that one ever came to Wii U. And then Trine 4 I haven't played. So maybe Trine 4 is the best, actually, because that went back to the roots. But Trine, fantastic, absolutely beautiful game. You know, I was watching the trailer while prepping for this video, and it honestly holds up really well. That game is beautiful. So highly recommend Trine. Ollie Ollie, I was actually just playing the new game in the series, Ollie Ollie World, I believe it's called, on PSN the other day because it's on PS Plus. But Ollie Ollie, really fun, simple kind of skateboarding trick game, 2D trick game. Love that. I love the old Tony Hawk games, so any skateboarding trick stuff I'm a big fan of. Next up, we have a couple of games from Tomorrow Corporation. Now, I am specifically not going to mention World of Goo. I feel like this is sacrilege. I liked World of Goo, but I don't think it's even close to being their best game. They've released 4 games. I've only played 2 of those other 4 games, but I think those games are more fun and more unique. World of Goo was good, I'm sure, for WiiWare standards, and I'm sure it's a good game. It's a good game, but it's not their best game, in my opinion. I feel like someone's going to comment at me screaming. But Little Inferno is a very simple game where you have a fireplace and a catalog, and you buy items, you burn the items, and they do different effects. It is an afternoon game. You play it in one sitting. But I remember having a ton of fun with that as a kid. And then, more importantly, something that I don't think this developer gets anywhere near enough praise for is Human Resource Machine. And then its sequel, 7 Billion Humans, which isn't on, I don't think it's on console at all. It might be on Switch now. But Human Resource Machine is what I played, and I played it on, I think, Switch, actually, but I'm counting it here anyway. It is basically teaching you how to code. You're doing very basic functions. It's very logical, coding-based puzzles. It might not sound enticing if you don't have any interest in coding, and maybe that's the case. You know, I do have a basic understanding of coding and all that stuff, but Human Resource Machine is fantastic. The way they teach you how to do this within the game and control the little characters on screen by making these functions, it works really well. It is one of the best, like, logical puzzle games I've ever played, up there with, like, Baba Is You. If you haven't played that on Switch, also recommend. So Human Resource Machine and Little Inferno, fantastic stuff there. Also World of Goo, I guess I'll throw it in there, you know. It deserves the shout. Tokitori and Tokitori 2. This is where I played both these games for the first time. Love both of those. Pretty classic games. I think most people know them by now, but plays a little yellow bird doing little puzzles. Cute. A lot of puzzle games on the Wii U eShop, I'm noticing. Next up, we have the Swapper. So this is another kind of like Metroidvania-esque, I guess, I don't know, little puzzle game where your mechanic is you can kind of project yourself forward. So like, I believe the way it worked is if there's like a wall, you can like kind of teleport beyond the wall. You swap in places with it. Really fun game. I don't remember too much, but I was going through the list and I remember really enjoying that when I played it on my PS4 back in the day. Next up, we have a game I never beat this, but I love this game, and I would love to see it. I think they actually might have made a sequel, actually, now that I think about it. I think it's on Switch. I need to go back and beat this sometime. It was really hard when I was a kid on Epic. So this is like an early isekai. This dude is playing D&D with his friends. He goes to the bathroom, and he gets transported into a medieval castle, basically. And it's very... How do I explain this without making it sound not fun? It's like... You have, like, stat tables and stuff. It's very, like, I want to say deep. You have, like, different weapons and, like, character builds you can do, from what I remember as a kid. And it was just really unique at the time. This was, like, a really well-polished game, but it was really hard also. Maybe that was just me being a kid that wasn't good at games, but on Epic was a lot of fun back in the day. I think it's on everything now. Another game I love is Stick It to the Man. This is from the creators over at Thunderful, I believe is what they're called now. Maybe that's what they were called before. They went on to do, I think they did Zombie Vikings, and now they're doing, like, these EA games like called Faye, I believe, and there's a way more prominent example. What the hell do they make? Well, they do a lot of publishing work now, but I believe Lost in Random is the game I was thinking of from, I think EA published that. So anyway, Stick It to the Man is a comedy kind of puzzle game. I guess I want to akin it to Psychonauts, even though I've never played Psychonauts. It's not like a 3D platform or anything, but you're reading people's minds, basically, and solving little issues for them. And it just has a great sense of humor, great voice acting. So that one's a classic right there for sure. Another classic that I know some people don't love, but I personally love, is Thomas Was Alone. This game has a very simplistic art style, as you're seeing. He plays a little red block named Thomas, and it's just this really beautiful kind of narration-based game, almost like a Stanley Parable kind of vibe here. Just basic platforming. It's not going to be a hard game, but you're kind of there for the story and the narration, and it's really good. Next up, a game I have not seen anyone ever talk about, but I loved as a kid, Life of Pixel. So this is it does the concept of like going through generations of like hardware. I think a lot better than most games. A game I was considering putting on this list but decided not to was Adventures of Pip, which kind of had a similar vibe to it, where you play as like a little cube and then you grow up to be a little boy. Life of Pixel does that a lot better, where you're playing games on like your Commodore 64 style graphics, but then it goes up to SNES and Genesis and all that. And it's just one of those kind of not as tough as nails, but still tough as nails 2D platformers with a really cool, unique kind of visual kind of direction there with all the different styles of 8 bits and 16 bits. So a Life of Pixel, I think that's on PS4 as well with more content, and maybe Switch. So that one's really good. Another Nintendo published pick from me, NES Remix 1 and 2. Kind of cheating because this does have a physical release, but NES Remix kind of speaks for itself. If you like NES games, if you like that history of Nintendo, you're going to want this. It literally remixes games, so you'll be playing as Link and Mario Bros. And all that. It's really cool if you haven't played it. I wish they would port them to Switch, but if you haven't, definitely try out those. Or it's also on 3DS in the form of Ultimate NES Remix, so give NES Remix the love it deserves. And then we have a couple games that are on the 3DS eShop that I mentioned in that 3DS eShop video that I want to go ahead and shout out because I also played them on Wii U. So SteamWorld Dig and SteamWorld Heist, obvious shout outs to Image and Form. Gotta love them. If you have not played SteamWorld Dig, please play SteamWorld Dig, especially SteamWorld Dig 2, which is on 3DS eShop and Switch and everything else. Mutant Mud / Super Challenge. Don't like a 2E, but love Mutant Muds. I'm not going to sit here and deny that. They also have Zero Drifter there. Super Challenge is a more hard version of Mutant Muds, basically. It's a sequel. Mutant Muds Deluxe was cool because when it came to Wii U, they added like a new world, I believe. I don't know if it was the Ghost levels or the Grandma levels, but there was something they added with the Wii U version. Eventually it came to the 3DS, but Mutant Muds, I love that series. 1001 Spikes from Nicholas? Got some people commenting that. I don't know how you pronounce it. I always said Nicholas. People that made Cave Story and all that. But 1001 Spikes, another tough as nails platformer. But this is like one of those like unfair ones where it's going to be trial and error. You're going to have to learn what you're doing and learn your movements and do it perfectly. And that's a lot of fun. And then final game here. This one's from Nintendo as well. Mario vs. DK Tipping Stars. I believe, and this applies to the 3DS version as well, I believe the main functionality of tipping stars is unusable now because Miiverse is gone, but the main campaign there is still a lot of fun. The pre-made levels from Nintendo. And I don't know, I really enjoy that series. People like to hate on Mario vs. DK. I know it was getting a little oversaturated there for a bit, but I always really enjoyed it. So that is going to do it for this video. Those are all my favorite Wii U eShop games. I'm sure I missed some stuff. I liked Extreme Exorcism, but I don't know. It's whatever. So let me know down in the comments below. What are some of your favorite eShop games for the Wii U? Did our list align at all? I'm sure there's got to be some some crossover there. But if it wasn't on this list, let me know what your favorite is down in the comments below. Help people out, get some recommendations out there. I'm not perfect. I haven't played everything, so I'm sure I missed some pretty good Wii U games. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. This has been Botox Games. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe here for more 3DS, Wii U, and Switch content. Follow me on Twitter at Botox Games. And until next time, bye-bye.